evening. Welcome to YbY Early Learning Community Workshop. And today we've gone through a few topics, but today we're going to go through a topic that it's very near and dear to my heart, and that is around health and nutrition. And so, what we're going to do today is this is going to be a little more interactive. So, these are do you know questions. And what I'm going to do is just go through these as you all to be on in the space, but these are fun facts that you can take notes for and then take back and look at your own caption of what you have in your home and see if there are some ways that you can challenge your own family members about why we even are eating what we're eating. And the reason I wanted to do this session is because particularly for YbY, we had had some trainings around nutrition and cultural influences and the conversation around healthy, what's not healthy, and things like that. And so we know for many of our families that it can be very confusing. And the last thing we want to do is to impose or insinuate that someone is eating wrong, but that in all honesty, we can all do better. So, again, just to introduce myself, my name is Miss Marpessa, and I am the Community Engagement Specialist with YbY Early Learning. And so I'm going to go ahead and just explain a little bit of what this is going to look like. Again, we are going to just explain that today's session will focus on fun nutrition facts and I have added a family activity. I am more than happy to email you that activity if you are interested. And the way that you'll want to do that, and I will also type my email in the chat, is to email me at MARP as in Paul, ESSA at YbYearlylearning.org. So yeah, I would love to hear any feedback from families if you have just explained any of these new facts that you have learned, or just give feedback about what you have learned, or add any new tips that I may learn. And then also I will add the activity to you. So to start, I would like to say, I want to give you a story first. And I'm also a shameless plug because last week I'm in the process of changing my own diet. Not that it's bad, but I would like to fine tune some things based off of my age and physical goals that I'd like to do. And so I've been on this fitness journey for about, a year and a half now. And it all started with one, drinking more water. And the reason, especially living in here in Colorado, drinking more water is so important because it's so dry here. And it honestly is the answer to many ailments like headaches, a like bloody noses, especially I explain to people who are coming to visit Colorado that we're 50 to 80 feet above sea level. So it's really important to make sure that you are drinking as much water as possible. I am that person that's always hounding people. Have you drank enough water? Have you drank enough water? So through this year and a half journey, I have been also being more exploring more when I go to the grocery store. And I'm not sure if others have been feeling very pressured at times to look at the ingredients on the back of the products that they have, and discussions about processed food and discussions about organic versus, all of the different do's and don'ts of nutrition. So I find that I have my favorite grocery stores to go to, and my most favorite, here's where the shameless plug comes in, is Natural Grocers. And I will explain to you why I enjoy natural grocers, and they actually helped with a lot of the research that I'm going to share with you today. And it is in alignment of the discussions that we have had in our professional training with YbY Early Learning. And so while I was at Natural Grocers on their website, while I'm looking for specials and the things, I found that they have a free health coach that at different locations, but the location that I went to, they had a health coach that gives you a complimentary session with a real certified health coach. And so I went last week and the first thing, I'm going to be very transparent with you. The first thing that happened once I sat down and the health coach sat down and was like, what brought you here? And because this has been a very long journey, like the last year and a half has been really just the physical fitness part. Before the last 5 years, because my daughter is 5 now, postpartum, I really wanted to, get it together and do a better job of feeding my children healthy and nutritious meals, as well as balancing convenience and then also just balancing life. So anyhow, I'm sitting down and she goes, "What brings you here?" And I go, "Ah," and I start crying. And I started crying because I felt relieved that someone was even asking me what brought me here when it comes to, my health and how I'm eating, and was very open. It felt safe. And I just explained, I'm getting to be at around an age where I know XYZ is going to happen down the line with my body as a woman. And, as a mom, I also want to be able to manage and balance certain things. And literally, we got straight to it. And so I learned so many things about how for a very long time the food pyramid was a thing, but now we have moved on to what we call the meal wheel. So now I want to talk about, yeah, so in a roundabout way, I wanted to tell you that story to say, I want to prove to you all that I learned something in a very fun way called Did You Know? Because I was really excited to find out these facts. So, how we're going to do this is ask, let me see here how I set this up. I'm going to. Okay, so I'm going to explain how you could do this with your family, and then of course I will send you the outline as well. But for the trivia game, you're going to have multiple choice questions, and then it will cover basic nutrition facts, healthy habits, and fun food habits. And then you can have a scoring system, so points for each correct answer, and family members as well as the kids, including the kids, can work together. So I had built this out in trivia rounds, and there's 5 trivia rounds. Round 1 is nutrition basics. Round 2 is fun food facts. And then round 4 is interactive activity with the rainbow plate challenge. And then we have the wrap up. Oh no, let's see. Bonus points a bonus round. So, with that being said, the way that we would do it is, here we go. For nutrition basics, questions on food groups, vitamins, hydration, and balanced meals. A sample question that I wanted to do was which food group gives us the most energy? And so, what food group gives us the most energy? Was it be A, protein, B, fats, C, carbohydrates, D, vegetables, and in fact, it is A, protein. And what I also learned about protein, I can find it on here. Shout out to Natural Grocers for giving me the actual wheel meal. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can bring it up. Dang it. Let me see. I'm sure trying. No, it's not gonna work. Oh, here we go. Oh, I'll turn off the background. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me take the blur of the background. Okay, cool. So here is the meal wheel. And even though it's backwards, what I wanted to point out is that it is very different from how we had the food pyramid. So what I learned is the way that this meal wheel is set up is here are your proteins. So you need to have this amount of proteins on your plate. Then healthy fats. This is a percentage of the healthy fats you can have on your plate. And then organic and lower sugar fruit and vegetables should be the majority of the plate. However, protein is really important for, yes, energy, building muscle, and in combination with all of these things, this is the actual balanced diet. This is new and revised and not just the pyramid anymore. Then what it also outlines is moderation foods. So within this moderation foods, a lot of these are starches. So like your potatoes, your bananas, breads, things like that, carbs, they're going to be in here. So what we're not doing, this is not a fad diet. What we are encouraging is that we find a really good balance of all of these things, but being mindful with these circles, these percentages, not percentages, but the way that things are mapped out on this wheel to give you an idea of what you really should be focusing on. So honestly, you cannot go wrong without having as many fruits and vegetables as you possibly can. That's a whole plus. Now, one question that I would have for you as a trivia, because I learned this, is when, based off of these nutrition facts, of course, but I'll tell you that this is something I learned. So when you have fruit and you eat the fruit, how long should you wait before you actually eat another meal, like a meal? So one thing that we do at YbY Early Learning with the kids is make sure that for lunch, before or snacks, we have fruit. But we do pause between having their fruit and then actually eating. However, I learned that there is a certain amount of time that should be in between eating fruit and then also your meal, which is 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. So the reason is that the way that our stomachs process or digest the fruit should happen first before you're actually eating, or wait to eat the fruit out and out. I think it's longer than 45 minutes actually. So anyway, it is recommended if you're gonna have fruit with a meal, have it before, but 30 to 45 minutes before you're actually going all out with the meal. So I thought that was pretty cool because it gets into, conversations around, who knew that there should be an order in how we're eating in order to help digestion. And I know that digestion can be an issue with kids and, trying to figure out how much fiber they should have and things like that. This really helps, just a small tip about how you can help your young one be able to learn, down the line as they're getting older, order of different things as well as portion sizes, which is a real crisis here in our country with not being mindful of portion sizes. So that can also be another quiz question that you can have. So for round two, fun food facts, and especially for early learning children, questions on unusual facts about fruits, veggies, and superfoods. So sample question like would be, which fruit has more vitamin C than an orange? Is it A, a kiwi, B, an apple, C, watermelon, or D, banana? And the answer would be A, kiwi. So it'd be cool too to just do some research maybe on the foods that your student, your child, your young one is having already, some of their favorite foods, and find out more information on a nutrition level, but also being more creative and talking about how you can um, learn about colors and how to, what letter does orange start with? Okay, and hey, isn't it cool that orange is a fruit, but also the color? Like just being more creative around how we can not food fight, like those kinds of games, but games about your child, your student, your young one being more mindful about what they're eating, being excited about what they're eating, and also just empowering your child to know what they like and be more proactive versus being picky. And that happens to us all when it comes to different stages in feeding our kids. So that would be an example of another round. So the first round, again, would be around nutrition basics. And you can use something like the meal wheel, talking about proteins, um, healthy fats, fruits and vegetables, and then also starches, where starches need to kind of be, as well as sensible indulgences, is what they call it. And I meant to mention this because sensible indulgences would include pop, but like you could do like a sparkling water with, grenadine or something like that, or chocolate, and it could be dark chocolate. So we say sensible because we understand that we need to make sure we're being realistic about snacks and things, but also, being sensible and thinking through, if we know that sugar is not the best for us, how else can we use, reach that satisfaction of having a sweet tooth. So like dates. And you also do not have to be a health nut. I want to emphasize that as well. Do I aspire to be a health nut? Yes, I do. But that is not the goal for all families. The goal for families, honestly, is to make sure that our children are healthy and that they are full. And what we don't want anyone in our families to feel is that they are not doing a good job in feeding their kids. There's also room for error, but also there are all of us can improve on what we're feeding our kids. So at any juncture that you're in, just think about like, man, how can I do better? And we can all do better. Um, and especially with the food crisis, I understand that there are scarcity issues with food deserts, even. And food deserts are areas where it's very difficult and challenging to get to a grocery store, even a farmer's market, or a place, or where you can get produce. So that is also a real factor and barrier. And I do understand that, but we we also together collectively as a community, and then for Natural Grocers, who is so open to you just scheduling a health coach or a grocery tour to be able to just go in and explore, make it fun. And that was the whole goal of encouraging our families to create a trivia or a what, how did you know games around it. So for round three would be healthy habits. So questions on healthy snacking, portion control, like I talked about, and family meal ideas, which is super fun. Because one of the things that we stand on in YbY early learning is incorporating age appropriately and then sometimes stretching our students to do life skills things. And cooking is definitely one. So, for instance, having knives that are kid friendly to cut apples and to do real responsibilities in the kitchen in an age appropriate manner with supervision, because safety is always number one. At the same time, um, making it fun is what reinforces learning, especially for early learners. So, sample question: how many cups of water should kids drink each day? And I have A, 2 to 3, B, 5 to 6. Yeah, B 5 to 6, C 7 to 8, D 8 to 10. And I want to say it's 5 to 6 or 7 to 8. I forgot to add that answer there. But you can't go wrong between 5 and 8. You cannot go wrong. 2 to 3 is not enough. And 8 to 10, for the most part, I'm making this assumption, is unrealistic. Um, but within the range, I would say between a B and a C. That's off the top of my head. And then one thing that I like to encourage kids to do is to keep a water bottle. And sometimes, if for my child, if she has not finished her water and she's gotten up from the table, instead of just letting that cup go into the ether, by the time, a certain amount of time before cutoff, before they go to bed, to finish that water, to always refer back to that water. Another thing we used to do, but now it's become more of a habit for her, but we used to have a small water dispenser that she was able to go to on her own, like a Hello Kitty water dispenser, and just dispense her own water. Now, the thing about that is also helping shape behaviors around that, to say this is not a toy, this is for hydration, and we're drinking so that we can stay hydrated, so that we can have, really good skin and things of the sort like that, because our skin is the largest organ on our bodies. And so then that can venture into a whole conversation around organs and the importance of our skin and things like that. So hopefully you're gathering some ideas on how can just be a starting point, a launching pad for continuous learning as things are being revealed. I think that we're in an age of learning more and more about what we're eating and what is good for us and what's not great for us. But thinking about ways that it can be fun and, well, I've been saying fun, but interactive and inspiring to want to eat these things, and even being more mindful of, like, hey, how do your carrots are for eyes, and with you eating your carrots, this is improving your vision. Or eating a superfood, like, how energetic do you feel? Like, don't you want to be able to jump on the jungle gym today? Okay, let's see, your favorite avocado or whatever. So just thinking about ways to identify, based off of your child, what it is that you're trying to implement, but also meeting them where they are. And this goes for even yourself, like being honest with yourself about what your intake is of your food and your water and your supplements, or what is your belief around those things, is even the better reason to want to initiate a conversation around food. And then for the interactive activity, this would be the rainbow plate challenge. And the objective is to have your family create a rainbow plate by listing or gathering foods that match different colors of the rainbow. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about in terms of what an excellent opportunity to do an intersection of learning, not just what they're eating, but making the association, for example, that strawberries are red. And red has, it starts with R. Or what other letters do you know that are in the color red and strawberries? Like just getting to be as creative as possible around that to help with the color identification as well as the food identification. So green for broccoli, yellow for banana, or yellow for bananas, and etc. So then you would give each family member a list of colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then ask them to either write in the chat or no, write, no, this is me. Write in the on a notepad or grab actual foods from the kitchen that match each color. And then for bonus points, you can award extra points for completing the rainbow or including unique, less common items. So I think that to summarize, it's an open opportunity to be more creative while increasing our own awareness and excitement around food and how to fuel our bodies without the headache, and being more proactive in one, being honest with ourselves where we are, our time management. Are we really planning our meals? Are we looking for convenience in the grocery store? Or are we looking for, more in-depth reasons? Because, for instance, in the wintertime, I'm hearing already that people are getting colds. What a great conversation time to have about vitamin C. What fruits and vegetables have vitamin C in it? How can we do these things together? What would you like to see with us eating? And that really empowers our kids to say, wow, like when they're not with you, to help make better health choices. And that's really the idea, is to, once they leave the home, the earlier and the more we're able to reinforce certain practices or food for thought, they're being challenged, and also getting to really know what they like, because no one